The morning sun poured through the curtains in their cozy bedroom, painting soft stripes across the hardwood floor. Emma and Sophie stirred beneath their shared duvet, their breaths in sync, as though the universe still believed them to be a single entity conjured from some beautiful cosmic accident. At 18, they were about to leave home for the first time, stepping into independence without each other for the first time ever. Though genetically identical, their skin told different stories. Sophie's complexion glistened olive gold, warm in morning light. Emma's was pale and cool, like moonlight on snow. Their differences meant more than appearance. They carried separate shards of identity, forged by a world eager to notice things other than twin. Their mother, the same brilliant pregnant mother, named them Emma and Sophie, without adjectives, without qualifiers, but the world had other ideas. "Do you have everything?" Sophie asked, brushing long dark curls behind one ear. "Almost," Emma said. She tapped a thick notebook scarred with pencil marks, highlighter stains, and whispered secrets. "Just the good luck necklace Mom gave me. It always keeps me steady." Sophie's turquoise eyes crinkled. "Perfect, I have that too, along with your emergency chocolate bar. My daytime supplies," she smiled, but there was a shadow beneath it. A bittersweet knot, the knowledge that today their lives would diverge, even if it was only by city names. Their mother knocked at the door. "Girls, I'm making pancakes. Last breakfast all together." "Coming," Emma and Sophie chimed. At the table they ate stacks of fluffy pancakes, maple syrup glistening, bacon curling on the plate beside it. Their father read the paper and asked polite questions. College, roommates, classes, and let them lead the conversation, listening, careful not to reveal the soaring pride in his voice. At the airport, the swirl of travelers and announcements felt electric. Sophie squeezed Emma's hand. "We'll be okay, right?" Emma nodded, throat thick. "We will." It was more than words. It was a vow. They boarded their separate flights, Sophie to study art in Philadelphia, Emma heading north to Boston for med school. In the crowded terminals, mothers clutch babies, business people rush, and interactive displays glowed. No one paused for twins about to change. Their mother walked Sophie to gate A19, Emma to B03. At the final boarding calls, their hands slipped away. Sophie's tears caught the tungsten lights in shivering glints. Emma swallowed hard, blinking hers into submission. "Be brave," Emma mouthed. "You too," Sophie replied. The planes took off separately, and with them, a new current began to pull them apart. Philadelphia dawned cold and bright. Sophie carried half a suitcase into her shared apartment. Two other artists, both boys, both messy, both endearing in their different ways. The landlord's cat, a sleepy calico, patted around her ankles as she stepped inside. Sophie thumbed through yellowed postcards pinned to the corkboard, acrylic paintings of her parents, sketches of her and Emma holding hands, and her acceptance letter framed with bright markers and hearts. Beneath it, she pinned a photo of Sophie and Emma as toddlers, tangled in ribbons and giggles. Her first classes were held in a cavernous studio painted slutty neon and plaster spattered. Along huge tables, peers debated Van Gogh's twin portraits versus Callot's self-portraits, identity and the politics of image. Sophie's heart hammered. As the only person of Middle Eastern descent in the room, she felt every barb of attention. But she welcomed it, fueling her choices to paint better, bolder, richer. She started using deeper tones in her canvases, sunset pinks, stormy greens, midnight blacks. Every stroke echoed her emergence. "I exist. I'm not just part of a pair." Boston. Emma's awakening. Up north, Emma's life was surgical lights and early morning caffeine. Her days began before sunrise, clipped scrub pants by sterile sinks, moving with practiced precision. In anatomy class, she touched organs, dead, lifeless, but wrung with humanity. Each heart she held in gloves, slick and cold, made her pulse race. She texted Sophie photos of brains, folded libraries of memory and emotion. "Sis, you are a mad scientist," Sophie replied. Emma shared an image of her first successful incision, no stitches, clean cut. She felt alive in white coats, weighed by academic expectations. But as the weeks passed, she also felt the absence of her sister's laughter. The nights were lonelier, the sterile corridors haunted. One bleak, rainy afternoon, Sophie's paint palette ran together. They blurred. Furious at stubborn pigment, she painted over the ruin. What erupted was one of her best canvases yet. A pair of shadows intertwined, one pale and luminescent, the other deep and vibrant, dancing in gloom. It was called Duality in the Rain. She posted it online, caption, "We're the same on paper, but in light and shadow we speak different languages." Within hours, likes and comments came flooding. People saw themselves in the piece, rifting identities, internal conflicts, unity despite difference. Millions of miles away, Emma stared at that post on her phone between classes. Her chest bloomed with pride, but also a seed of restlessness. Posts, sparring Snapchats, video calls, they became vital lifelines. One night, Emma called Sophie in tears. She had failed a crucial practical test. Nerves scrambled her hands. Sophie calmed her. "You're the smartest, Em. Remember all those late-night cram sessions we did together? You got this." When Sophie faced a creative block, Emma returned the favor. "Just paint what you feel. The world needs your heart on canvas." These exchanges stretched the distance between them, but also made them feel woven into each other's lives, like silver threads. At Sophie's exposures, at her first gallery show, Sophie dragged 4 paintings. Potential buyers, drawn to Duality in the Rain, hovered. A man asked about the models. "Sophie, they're me and my twin." He noticed their skin tone differences and said, "That's powerful." Nearby, a teenager with similar coloring approached, trembling. "You're you," he said. "Your colors matter." Something about that broke Sophie. Tears spattered her voice, raw pride and relief. Emma's clinic. In the hospital, she treated 2 children with different symptoms. One, skin pale. One darker, same illness, different presentation. The boy with darker skin didn't show rash like the other, and a nurse had misread it. Emma caught it, corrected the chart. Late that night, she journaled, "Medicine isn't paint, but it's shades. I carry both." Winter break. They were home again under the cedar tree in their backyard. Identical twins, caramel pizza box laughter, scarves knit by Mom. Late one evening, Sophie brought Emma into her studio, dusted with paint, smelling of oil and turpentine. "Look," Sophie said, "a massive canvas. 2 girls facing a sunset, hands reaching, one lit with orange, one wrapped in violet dusk." "I want to shoot a short film," Sophie whispered, "about twins with different skins, and you're going to play both parts." Emma hesitated. Could she act as Sophie's shadow? Could she hold her mirror self's curve and life? "Yes," she said, voice trembling. They began planning as spring approached. They wrote the script together. Emma's character, polite, cautious, pale, timid. Sophie's character, bold, wild, olive-skinned, fearless. They would show how complementary they were. One needed the other's boldness, the other needed softness. Scenes built in Sophie's rainy studio, flashes of twins in rooms they once shared. Emma's clinical, clean sets. At dusk, they ran down streets together, holding hands, sonic with twin voices in monologue. On the third take, the camera lens captured their skin glistening, 2 tones against the same sunset, and they cried. Neighbors, classmates, parents came to watch the short film. They called it 2 Tones, 1 Heart. Sophie shook. No longer the bold painter, Emma glared anxious with every beat of her heart. But the lights went on, film unspooled. 2 girls separated by light, reunited by the same echo. People gasped, laughed, sobbed. After the credits rolled, there was silence. Then applause, soft at first, then building. A girl in the audience, mixed race, stood up. "I've never felt represented before." Others nodded. Their mother sobbed softly. Their father beamed. They realized they'd created something whole. A story of twins, yes, but more so, a story of halves that made a complete, complicated, fierce whole. The next spring, Sophie debuted the film at a student showcase, winning accolades. Emma aced her first clinical rotations. They applied separately, but their bond remained chromatic, intricate. On their shared birthday the following year, they reunited under the cedar. They drank hot cocoa, laughed into dusk, then lit lanterns, two lights floating into an orange sky, joined by single flame. They tossed a coin into the pond, ripples circling outward. "One body," Sophie said. "Two colors. One heart," Emma finished. They sat in silence until the wind carried their shared laughter across the water. Twins. Two halves of a singular soul. But when the world sees your skin first, differentiation becomes inevitable. Sophie and Emma had matching DNA, but unique shades of existence, the former warm and luminous, the latter cool and secretive. Together, they learned that identity isn't about sameness, it's about resonance. Their story wasn't merely about twins with different skin. It was a tale of identity, sisterhood, reconciliation, and representation. Sophie found her place in the vibrant arc of color. Emma navigated the liminal spaces of knowledge and empathy. Their creations, paintings, film, medicine, echoed off each other like refracted light. In the end, they discovered, unity doesn't erase difference, it celebrates it. Two tones, one heart wasn't just a title, it was a truth. Thank you for naming them, walking with them. This is their story.